Okay, so, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
This time, we're tackling a question we've been hearing a lot lately.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Is software engineering, like, kaput?
That's putting it bluntly, but yeah, with all the AI hype.
Exactly. Is this whole career path about to go the way of the dodo?
Well, we're going to unpack that. We've got reports, opinions, real stories from developers, the whole shebang.
Love it. So no sugarcoating, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with where things stand right now. Software engineering's been a top job for what feels like forever.
8 years running on Glassdoor's best jobs list. That's got to mean something.
Exactly. So high salaries aside, because, hey, we know those are tempting.
Definitely a perk.
What else makes this field so consistently hot?
Well, it's more than just the paycheck. Job satisfaction is huge in software. Plus, the sheer number of open positions is massive. This isn't a field that's shrinking, it's exploding.
Music to many ears, I'm sure. But there's this, misconception that it's all about getting into those big-name tech companies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Googles, the Metas of the world. Is that really the full picture?
Not even close. It's way more diverse than people realize. We're talking healthcare. Think Johnson & Johnson, CVS Health, they need software engineers. Then there's retail, Walmart, Best Buy. They rely on complex systems that need constant development. And that's just scratching the surface.
Okay, you're right. It's everywhere. But let's be real. We can't avoid the AI elephant in the room. I mean, there was that one study, I think it was from Oak Ridge National Laboratory.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Predicting that AI could start replacing developers by 2040.
Yeah, that got a lot of people spooked, understandably. But we can't just focus on the scariest predictions and ignore everything else. Remember what Satya Nadella said?
Microsoft CEO, for those who don't have every tech giant memorized.
Right. He sees AI as a tool to empower developers, not replace them.
So it's like AI becomes this really advanced tool in their toolkit, not some job-stealing overlords.
Exactly. And that's a perfect segue to our next point. What are actual developers saying about all of this?
Which is why we decided to dive headfirst into the wild world of Reddit, right?
Had to see what the trenches were saying, unfiltered.
Exactly. Remember that thread we found? Are developer jobs going extinct? Pure gold.
The anxieties there were so raw, so real. Like the original poster hit the nail on the head. Will all the entry-level jobs just vanish? Are dev teams gonna shrink to 3 people?
It really captured the fears swirling around out there.
Definitely. But here's the thing about that thread. It wasn't all doom and gloom.
Yeah, there was some surprisingly grounded stuff in there, too.
People pushing back, offering different perspectives,
Okay, so, what were some of the big counterpoints people were making?
Well, a lot of developers were basically like, look, if you think AI is going to replace us tomorrow, go try using one of these AI coding tools yourself.
The put up or shut up argument.
Basically. They're good at spitting out lines of code, sure, but is it good code? Efficient code? Does it actually solve the specific problem you're facing? Often, the answer is a hard no.
So it's like AI trying to bake a cake. It might be able to combine ingredients, but it can't tell if it tastes good or adjust the recipe for the perfect texture.
Perfect analogy. And then there's the whole business problem angle. AI is terrible at grasping the nuances of what a client actually wants. It can't manage a team of developers or deal with all those unexpected curveballs that always pop up.
Right, like when the client changes their mind for the 10th time.
Exactly. And forget about navigating office politics. AI's got nothing there.
So human skills still matter.
Mm.
Which is reassuring, honestly. But if we're not all about to be replaced by robot programmers, what does this actually mean for someone, thinking about a career in software? What should they be learning? What should they focus on?
That's the $1 million question, right? And honestly, from what we're seeing, both from experts and from those developers on Reddit, a few big things stand out. Specialization is going to be key.
Okay, so double down on those niche skills that AI struggles with. But what does that even look like in software? It's changing so fast.
Think about it this way. What's AI bad at? Cloud computing is huge right now, and it's only getting bigger. And it involves managing these insanely complex systems. AI is not going to be good at that for a while, if ever.
Okay, so cloud expertise. Got it. What else?
Or here's a wild thought. Become the AI expert. The developer who can actually use these tools effectively, push them to their limits and beyond. Those are the folks who are going to be in super high demand.
It's like almost becoming an AI whisperer, right? You're not just writing code, you're writing the code that teaches AI how to write code.
Exactly. It's a total mind shift. And it highlights another thing that kept popping up in that Reddit thread. Soft skills.
Ah, yes, the things they don't always teach you in coding boot camp.
It's not just about writing the code, it's about explaining it, right? Can you communicate clearly with other devs, with project managers, with clients who don't know the first thing about coding? That stuff matters.
And AI is, let's be honest, not exactly known for its communication skills.
Exactly. And beyond that, there's creative problem solving, thinking outside the box when the code just won't do what you want. AI can offer solutions, but it can't replace true human ingenuity.
So to put it all together, the future of software engineering isn't about hiding from AI. It's about adapting and evolving alongside it.
100%. And honestly, that ties into this really fascinating concept I wanted to bring up. It's called Software 2.0, and it comes from Andrzej Karpathy.
Software 2.0 sounds kind of ominous, like some sci-fi sequel where the robots finally take over.
Okay, it's not that dramatic,
Yeah.
but it is a fundamental shift in how we think about building software. See, Karpathy, he was at Tesla, OpenAI, really knows his stuff, and he says that the old way of coding, writing every single line manually, that's becoming obsolete.
Okay, I'm listening, but part of me is still picturing robots with keyboards.
No, it's not robots typing, it's more like we're moving away from giving the computer explicit instructions and towards training it to achieve an outcome. We curate data, feed it to the AI, and guide it to essentially write the software for us.
So instead of writing code line by line, it's more like we're teaching the AI to write the code itself.
That's the basic idea. And yeah, it sounds crazy, but it also opens up these incredible possibilities that we're only just starting to understand. Like, imagine tackling problems that used to be impossible because the sheer amount of data was just too overwhelming for a human to even process, let alone code for.
So it's not that coding is like going away, it's morphing into this whole new thing.
Right. It's evolving, just like it always has.
And we get to be along for the ride, which honestly is a little terrifying and a lot exciting.
I feel that. But think about it this way. Remember when photography first came around? People were freaking out, thinking it would kill painting. Like, why bother painting if a camera can just capture the scene perfectly?
But instead of destroying art, photography just pushed it in totally new directions.
Exactly. It's like it gave us abstract expressionism, surrealism, all these styles that focused on the things a camera couldn't capture, emotion, interpretation, the beauty of what's not perfect, not robotic.
That's a really cool way to think about it. So no matter how much tech changes, there's always going to be that need for human creativity, that spark.
Totally. And in software, that means doubling down on those uniquely human skills, communication, creative problem solving, being able to adapt to whatever crazy new tech gets thrown at us.
Okay, so for everyone listening who's feeling that mix of this is awesome,
yeah,
and maybe a little bit of, hey, am I prepared for this? What are the big takeaways? What's the TLDR here?
Here's the bottom line. Software engineering isn't dying. It's changing, yeah, but it's not going anywhere.
It's about rolling with those punches, right? Not being afraid to learn new tools, to adapt our skills, and most importantly, to never underestimate the power of those human skills that AI can't replicate, at least, not yet.
Exactly. And honestly, that's what makes this such an exciting time to be in this field. It's not about some preordained future where robots take over. We get to shape that future with the choices we make, the skills we prioritize, the problems we choose to solve.
So less about will there even be software engineering jobs?
Yeah.
And more about what kind of software engineer do I want to be?
Now you're talking. It's about taking control, charting your own path, deciding what kind of impact you want to make on the world.
That's a powerful way to put it. But before we wrap up this deep dive, we've got one last question for everyone listening, something to keep you thinking.
Feed us with it.
What excites you most about the future of tech? And what can you start doing today, right now, to build the skills and knowledge you'll need to be a part of that future? Keep those questions in mind as you continue your own deep dive. Until next time.